Okay, so today we learned law of sines, we learned law of cosines, now we're going to learn law of sines. So you should have numbers 1 through 12 completed in your packet, and now we are responsible for numbers 13 through 24. And if you'll notice, these problems, you are given two angles and a side, okay? Two angles and a side, and here we've got two angles and a side. So flip to the page 13 that has number 13, and down at the bottom, just like we did for law of cosines, you're going to make a squiggly line. Leave yourself enough room where you can work the problem out ahead of it. And this one you'll find is a little bit easier than the last. So once again, we're going to call this law of sines. And you use this, like we said, when you have two angles on the side. Or if you have two sides plus non-included angle. And so that would mean if you had like this side and this angle. Notice how the angle is not in between the two sides, but it's not included in between the two sides. So that would be a situation where you would use law of sines. So a picture of this is the same. We label our triangle again, A, C, B. One of the steps is to label little b, little c, and little a across from the respective angles. And the ratio that we're going to set up is actually, if you look at the ratio of A, little a to big A, is going to be the ratio of little a to the sine of big A equals the ratio of little b to the sine of big B, you guessed it, which equals the ratio of little c to the sine of big C. And so once again, you'll probably just be using two of these ratios at a time to find the missing information that you're looking for. So those are the notes. That's what you're going to need to reference if you don't remember the formula. So take some time and copy that down. If you need to pause the video to finish writing it down, that's fine. If you want to color code yours like I did, I have markers in the front if you need. Okay, I'm going to erase this now, so hopefully you got it all. If not, rewind and copy it down. All right, let's go back to number 13. And let's try this out. Let's see what information do we have. So the first thing we're going to do is label again. So this is B, this is C, this is A, okay? What am I looking for? So the second thing is to highlight what I'm looking for. And I'm looking for BC, so I'm looking for A. All right, so one thing I know for certain is I'm going to have to use A and big A and little a. So it's going to be A, which I don't know, over the sine of 49. And that's going to equal, now I got to look at what other information that I have that is useful. And I see I don't know B and I don't know big B, but I do know that little c is 26 over the sine of 63. And as you know from previous units, this can be solved by cross multiplication. So this is A times the sine of 63 equals the sine of 49 times 26. So together we will type this in our calculator. So the sine of 49, close parentheses, times 26, this whole part equals 19.622449, right? And now to isolate A, I'm going to have to divide by the sine of 63. So I'm going to have to divide this by the sine of 60. And you should end up with A equals 22.02. Put the answer up here, and sure enough, the answer is 22 kilometers. All right, I'm going to clear the ink. Again, I don't care about you seeing the answers on the rest of this. That's fine. Just make sure you know how to use the ratio. Okay, so law of sines to me is a little bit easier. So we said the two types were if you have two angles and one side, right? So this is, again, two angles and one side. And the other situation is two sides and a non-included angle, okay? And so I'm going to do number 19 with you to show you how this is done. So again, the first step is to label. Across from B is B, across from C is C, and across from A is little a. The information I'm looking for is here. Now, I have the answer because I wrote it down. I have the answers listed, but I need to know how I get that answer. So I want 47 to be my answer. So let's crisscross. I'm going to crisscross B because that's just information we don't need right now. So I'm looking for the sine of C, so I'm going to use 15 over the sine of C, and that's going to equal 20 over the sine of 77. And again, these are solved by cross multiplication. So I get sin C times 20, 15 times the sine of 77. So I'm going to type that in my calculator. And actually, if you want to, you can type the whole thing in your calculator. This is divided by 20, this is divided by 20. But if you do that, you have to make sure you put all of this in parentheses. If you want to type it all in at once, the entire thing has to be in parentheses. So I like to do it in steps. So I'm going to do 15 times sin 77, close my parentheses, hit enter, and then I'm going to hit divided by 20. And I get this sine of C equals 0.730 with a bunch of sevens, so on and so forth. So then I just hit second sine, second answer, and you should get about 46.9. So we gotta do -1. So C equals 46.95, which rounds up to 47 degrees, which is what I got. Okay, so you are responsible to finish the rest of this packet. And again, if you're having a hard time plugging these numbers in your calculator or you're not getting the answers that you should, make sure you ask for help.